Thinking about the kind of person your son or daughter will become in the future can be scary. Do you really have the power or ability to influence or mold them into who they can become in life or in society? The Bible gives us a powerful principle. Proverbs chapter 22 verse 6, according to the King James Version says, "Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it." What does it even mean to train a child as a parent or guardian? Is telling them what to do enough, or is taking them to school enough? What about hiring a personal trainer for them? Will that do? According to the Oxford Languages Dictionary, to train means to teach a particular skill or type of behavior through practice and instruction over a period of time. So, when it comes to training our own children, what should we do? Now let's take a deep dive into the Bible and see what we can find. Deuteronomy 6 verses 4 to 9 is a real model of what we ought to do when training our children. It reads as follows from the New King James Version. "Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your strength. And these words which I command you today shall be in your heart. You shall teach them diligently to your children, and shall talk of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise up. You shall bind them as a sign on your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. You shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates." In the passage we read in Deuteronomy chapter 6, God instructed Israel to love him and internalize his commandments, but they were not to end there. They also had to get their children to do the same. It is interesting to know how they would do this. They were to talk about them everywhere and every time, in the morning, in the evening, at mealtime, while relaxing, and even at bedtime. They were also to wear them as handpieces and neck pieces, as well as have them as visual boards on their doorposts and their gates. In other words, recital of the commandments became part of their daily lives, with much repetition taking place. The Bible tells us that if we train our children in the way they should go, when they grow up, they will not depart from it. One clear example of the fruit of diligently training a child is shown in 1 Timothy 1 verse 5, where Paul mentions that he remembered the genuine or sincere faith that was in Timothy's grandmother and his mother, and was convinced that this faith was also in Timothy. It is clear that Timothy's mother learned to have a life of faith from her mother, and later modeled it to her son Timothy, to the extent that Paul could actually notice it. In Genesis chapter 18 verse 19, God said of Abraham, "For I know him, that he will command his children and his household after him, and they shall keep the way of the Lord, to do justice and judgment, that the Lord may bring upon Abraham that which he hath spoken of him." God knew that Abraham modeled righteousness and was well able to train his children to do the same. Solomon is one father who taught his son many lessons in the book of Proverbs. The whole book is full of life lessons we can also learn and teach our children. In the book of Proverbs chapter 3 verses 1 to 4, reading from the New King James Version, Solomon instructs his son as follows. "My son, do not forget my law, but let your heart keep my commands. For length of days and long life and peace they will add to you. Let not mercy and truth forsake you. Bind them around your neck, write them on the tablet of your heart, and so find favor and high esteem in the sight of God and man. We also need to find critical life lessons that we teach our children, just as Solomon did. We are told that it was common practice in ancient Jewish times for sons to become apprentices under their father's trade or profession. So, in Mark 6 verse 3, we note that Jesus was referred to as a carpenter. And in Matthew chapter 13 verse 55, he was referred to as the carpenter's son. In Matthew 4 verses 21 to 22, James and John were in a ship mending nets with their father when Jesus called them. They were fishermen, a trade which they must have learnt from their father at a young age. So, as we can see, training comes in so many different ways and is incorporated into one's lifestyle. It is not an event or the use of mere words without corresponding consistent actions. One of the key lessons we need to teach our children is how to fear the Lord. Proverbs chapter 14 verse 27 says, "The fear of the Lord is a fountain of life, to turn one from the snares of death." We prepared a separate video to guide you on what it means to fear the Lord and also provided some practical tips on how to do so. As we conclude this video, let's remember that we incorporate what we want our children to learn in our daily lives by modeling and doing the various activities together with them. Train up a child means more than just teaching rules. It's about instilling values, faith, and godly wisdom in their hearts from an early age. Repetition and consistency of the behavior, practice, or activity we want modeled is also very important. How have you been teaching your children? Are you confident about yourself as your children's model? What principles and patterns have you been following? Please feel free to share your insights in the comments section below. Thank you for watching. If you found this message to be helpful, please subscribe for more Bible-based wisdom. Until next time, God bless.